But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Daniel chapter 7, verse 18. Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to our venerable apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. All right, so Brother Haran coming back at you with a quick lesson. Lord willing, be edifying and uplifting unto the elect. All right, and we start off with Daniel, the 7th chapter, the 18th verse, going into the saints of the Most High, all right, shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Okay, the Most High, the people of the Most High, which are the Israelites, are about to take over, all right, the whole entire planet. All right, and it starts with our Lord Yahushua when he comes back, and his return is fast approaching. Okay, as a matter of fact, you have the whole entire world right now, all right, is paying attention very closely to prophecy. All right, because what's going on right now is it carries a global punch, if you will. All right, it affects the whole entire globe. Therefore, everybody around the world is involved in this. All right, whether they are, involved in it as in the front lines, or whether they're being affected by what's going on, everybody is involved in this. And that means that everybody's also tuned in to the biblical end time prophecies, because World War III is part of end time prophecies. As a matter of fact, America's destruction happens during the time of World War III. Okay, once these countries start going nuclear, you're going to see the Lord, all right, our Lord Yahushua, make his return to deliver his elect, okay, who are here in America and around the world, but predominantly here in America. We're going to get beamed up. All right, we're going to get beamed up from the soils of America into his gigantic, what is known as a so-called UFO, but it's going to be a fathership. Okay, that's going to hover over the whole entire earth. Okay, but really over America, because that's where the majority of the salvation is going to take place. Okay, but before that, this place, America, will turn upside down. You're seeing the building blocks to it. And we've been prophesying this for years. All right, we sound like a broken record, bringing out the same information over and over and over again. But that's what the warning is for, right? When you're given a warning, you're given a warning of something that's to come. So you're going to sound very repetitive, right? When you have an alarm sounds repetitive, but it's not there for it to sound good. It's there to wake you up. So our words are not here to make it sound good. It's to wake you up. It's to get you ready for the battle that's ahead. That's what it is. Okay? That is exactly what it is. And some of the battles are going to take place in different phases. You got civil war. That's one of the biggest battles that's prophesied in the scriptures. Civil war here in America. Okay? You got people who are of the Democratic Party versus those who are of the MAGA. Okay? And even people within MAGA having beef against each other. All right, and that's all what biblical prophecy is. As a matter of fact, let's get that real quick, okay? Because that's the times that we're in. All right, it's the book of Isaiah, chapter 19. Let me get it from here. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19. Start off at verse 2. It says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians." All right, the Egyptians represents the modern day Americans. Okay. So the Lord is setting up, he's stirring up, right? To set means to stir up, to put things together, to, basically be the one to cause something to happen. Okay, so the Lord is going to set up the Egyptian against the Egyptians, which we're seeing now. And they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city. Okay, think about that. City against city and kingdom against kingdom. So again, war right now is what's in the air. But until it hits American soils, where people are going to get uncivilized with their wars, hey, people are still, kind of like chilling. Until it hits American soil, people are chilling. Okay? But the chilling days are about to be over quick. All right? Which leads us to this article here. It says, conservative podcaster says Trump betrayed base with war on Iran. Just seems so insane. That's a quote. It says here, conservative podcast host Joe Rogan is denouncing the Iran war as, quote, nuts, saying some supporters of DJT feel betrayed because he ran on a promise of avoiding unnecessary Middle East wars. And guess what? DJT is no different from all your other presidents. Okay? All your other presidents, all right, they've all been compromised by the Jays. All right? They've all been compromised some way, somehow. All these presidents ended up having some form of interest in the so-called Middle East prior to, during, and after 1948. Okay? The facts are all there. All your so-called American presidents were compromised. Everything you're seeing now is just a culmination of all the years of things that they've been doing covertly. It's just happening overtly now. It's just wide up in the open. Because the Lord is what? He's making them bare. All right? He's exposing Esau for who he is. You notice the name Amalek keeps popping up in the mainstream now? Have you noticed that? Brothers was talking about that earlier today. All right, that the name Amalek and Edom and the Rothschilds is all of a sudden is starting to circulate. All right, people are starting to be aware. They're noticing these things. Everyone is becoming a so-called conspiracy theorist. Okay, so it's about to be a very, very tough time. All right, for these devils to proceed with their plans. All right, as is written, let's get that real quick. In the book of Job, chapter 20. Yeah, this thing is, my phone is acting up. Let me do it over here and see. It was working perfectly fine earlier, and then as soon as you click the button, all of a sudden it starts to act up. Anyway, here it says, the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 22, it says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Okay? Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. So that time, that friction, that fullness of his sufficiency is building that friction. All right? He wants to set up the newer order by having everyone microchipped. But he has to do it in a very clever and subtle way so that people don't get too alarmed and there's not too much resistance. But then the longer he waits, the more people are waking up. And then the more he tries to come out with it faster, the more he gets resistance. So it's like, what do I do? Right? What do I do? Because now he's going to go through, again, that straits, being in straits. Okay? He's going to be in straits. And if in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Straits is in a hard place, right? Being stuck between a rock and a hard place, so to speak. Straits, difficulty. All right? Challenge. Why? Because the truth is out. Okay? Their lies are not working no more. Look at this whole Iran thing. Let's read some more of this article here. Okay? Because maybe 20 years ago, what they're doing right now would have worked. Because information wasn't going out as fast as it is now with social media. Okay? So they were able to control the narrative through mainstream media. But now you have alternative news outlets. And people are flocking to those outlets. Okay? Because people are starving for truth. And these outlets are doing a great job because what they're doing is eventually they're bringing all this information and attention back to Israel. And then people start questioning Israel, but who's Israel? The Bible says this, but why is this happening? A lot of questions, a lot of questions. And you have nowhere to go but to go back to the prophets for the answers. Just hope it's not too late. Hope it's not too late. Continue, it says, it just seems, there's a quote now from Joe Rogan. It says, it just seems so insane based on what he ran on, Rogan said on his popular show. This is why a lot of people feel betrayed. He ran on no more wars. End these stupid, senseless wars. We can't even really clearly define why we did it, he added. Rogan, who endorsed Trump in 2024, said he didn't agree with the military action against Venezuela to seize President Nicolas Maduro when they kidnapped him. All right, they kidnapped him. Okay, but he said the Iran war, which appears to be dragging on without any clear objective, right, makes even less sense. Okay, cool. This one's nuts, he said. He bristled when a guest suggested that Trump opposes endless wars, not potentially quickie conflicts like the Iran war. They're all endless, Rogan retorted. Right. Because remember, America's foreign policy in the Middle East is destabilization. That is it. That is their policy. So it's not about ending the war or, negotiating some peace deal. No. They want to destabilize the whole entire region. That's it. So there will be no such thing as peace. Not on their side, not on Israelis, none of that. Okay? The Iranians could come every single day and say, hey, we're ready to talk peace. And these Israelis are going to scream, victim. Oh, they're trying to aggress us. We're looking for peace and they don't want to have peace. This is why we must bomb them, because they plan to bomb us. This is what's going, and the world is watching. The world is watching, right? Continue, it says, Rogan, who has the ear of millions of mostly young male listeners, is one of a handful of conservative figures to break with Trump over the war, even as most Republican lawmakers keep quiet or support the conflict. Former Fox News host Tucker Carlson has mocked Trump for demanding unconditional surrender of Iran, predicting the Islamic Republic wouldn't cave unless the U.S. uses nuclear weapons. Let's not lie to ourselves. We're heading toward that, Carlson said over the weekend. Megyn Kelly called out pro-war Senator Lindsey Graham, and I did a lesson on him a couple of days ago. All right, straight demon. Okay, and he's part of the pride community, the Libiquity. So he's a complete demon all around, full-blown, well-rounded demon, man. All right, and he need to get stomped out too. All right, it says, as a homicidal maniac, and pointed to his. I see. That's the thing. How about you take your red little pink? How about you go to the war? You niggas that keep pushing for war. How about you go over there? See, these are weak men. All these niggas that just stand there wearing suits and ties and giving all these extravagant speeches about violence, and they're weak men. Okay, they're weak men, and very soon, the world will see how weak America really is. I'm gonna tell you something. Very soon, mark my words, very soon, America will be destroyed by thermonuclear fire, and there is nothing any American can do about it. I don't care how much you love your country. I don't care how much you support your country. I don't care how much you think America is invincible. Guess what? Your leaders know this country will be destroyed very soon by thermonuclear fire. They know that. And they're preparing for that. They just don't want you to know that. You understand? But see, the Lord also has them in the corner, because in their mind, they think after this destruction, they're going to rise up from their bunkers and then establish a whole new world through AI and so on and so forth. We're going to run this new world of decay, a world in shambles, right? Radiation all over the place. And we're going to just create these bubbles, these labs, and people are going to live in it. See? We're going to have things underground, and then on top of the earth, we're going to just redo the whole entire planet. We're just going to rebuild it with technology and AI, and, it's just going to be like a concrete jungle, but with machines. See? Just metal. Instead of stone, it's just going to be metal everywhere. That's just what they want. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly what I'm thinking. Sick shit. Right? And it's never going to happen. Right? So it says here, this guy's a homicidal maniac, and pointed to his remarks suggesting that Israel was pulling the strings behind the decision to start the war. Quote, "We are 100% doing this because of Israel," end quote, Kelly said on her show Monday. So you have people in the media, okay, who were openly supporting Trump. Now they're just turning around and saying, hey, what's up? What's going on? Trump pushed back against Kelly and Carlson, saying their comments don't represent the views of his MAGA base. See, so he once again divides the room. He has to create more of a division. Okay? He has to create more of a division. All right? And that's because he is that cruel Lord, man. He is that cruel Lord. Okay? He's setting up the stage. He is that cruel Lord. He's that MAGA, the top magician. Okay? There's the book of Isaiah chapter 19. Bring it back to verse 2. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. So you're already starting to see the energy change from, oh, we're always together, we support Trump, to now it's like, wait a minute, this guy betrayed us. And if that sentiment keeps on going for a little bit longer, you see why they said that they need to have a quick military response teams all throughout the states, all 50 states. Okay? At least 500 at a time. So once this keeps on going, there's going to be a lot more people who are going to be openly vocalizing their disdain towards the government and how things are being run. And they're going to start doing something about it. And that's when you're going to start seeing the fireworks. So it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Okay? 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 16, it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. So you're starting to hear that rhetoric. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Oh, he betrayed us. We don't look at him like the man we voted for no more. We're going to do things the old school way. You're going to start hearing people say, let's go back to the Constitution. Let's go back to how our founding fathers set the country up to be. Let's take our country back. You're going to start hearing that. And people who are going to talk like that are going to be deemed domestic terrorists, and they're going to be arrested. They're going to be put in prison. Some of them are going to be getting shot. If you raise your hand talking about some constitutional rights and all that, you're going to be deemed a DT. Period. That's just what it is, man. Okay? You want to preach about the Bible? DT. Things are about to get real, man. Okay? Things are about to get real. Really real. Okay? Continue verse 17 says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay? So going back to Isaiah 19 and verse 3, it says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. Okay? The spirit of Egypt is failing. All the morale is down. Okay? Quite literally, morale is down. People are depressed. Okay? The things that used to make America what it was known for, which was everything being grand, big, you know what I'm saying? Like larger than life, you know what I'm saying? Celebrities and shit like that. Like the influence of the world comes from America through the media and, you know, culture and shit like that. Pop culture is what they call it. Popular culture, right? The Jays use Hollywood to influence pop culture, and pop culture is what goes into people's homes through the television to influence your behavior, demoralize you, get you further away from the scriptures, from the Bible, from faith, from God. Okay? Open you up to all this satanic, demonic influences, all that's around us. Okay? The Babylonian way of doing things. Talking about being open-minded. They're sick people, man. Sick ass people. So it says here, so the spirit of Egypt failing, right? And the Lord says what? He will destroy the counsel thereof. Ooh. And they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards, because people are going to lose faith in other people. Okay, people that normally like, oh, you go to church, and then now it's like, okay, well, I can't go to church because all these people are corrupt. They openly just worshiping Satan now, molesting little children. The Catholic Church, the Pope, this pastor getting arrested because, you know, he's found out. We just found out that he was pressing up on little boys in them churches, right? These kind of stories, it adds up. You hear it so much, you get desensitized, you lose faith in what you're doing. It's like people are waking up, man. They're like, yo, man, this church shit, like these pastors out here wilding out, you know? pressing up on little boys, little girls. It's like, what's going on, man? Having all kinds of inappropriate relationship with church members and shit. It's like, yo, this whole world, bro. Incontinency for real, right? Verse 4, Isaiah 19:4, we're going to close it out. It says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh, power of hosts. Okay? So the Lord is the one who's setting up DJT to be that tyrant, that demon. All right? That Draco. Okay? The draconian, demonic entity that he is. All right? And you're going to see, man. Look, we've been telling you this. All right, we've been telling you this, and when you see the countenance of Trump change, because he's under so much pressure, just like Nero, beloved at first, and then disliked and hated, and then he turned on the people. That's exactly what this nigga is going to do. He's already started it, but it's going to get even worse. He's going to stop giving you those speeches of hope. Oh, the war is going to stop, and once it stops, prices are going to go down. Oh yeah, we're done with this war. We finished them all. We killed them, we bombed them, we destroyed them. You know, now they're just walking around with just faceless, limbs blown off, legs blown off. They got no legs and they're dead, but they're just walking. Their faces all messed up and their arms are blown off too. Yeah, we killed them all. We dead. They're dead. So yeah, that's the type of time he's on. Peace on earth, right? Well, so we're going to keep watching you flop. Right? Because we told you the Lord is going to destroy you. He's going to bring your kingdom down. And your leader is tripping. Okay? He's tripping. Biden was openly tripping, but Trump is tripping. Okay? And you're going to see things about to get real crazy next few weeks into next month. Anyway, I'm ending off there. Lord willing, you're edified and informed. In closing, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachakudash. The water Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, and until next time, Shalom.